Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. I don't think it will be a super long video because I kind of wanted to talk about something that's maybe kind of short, but who knows? Sometimes you get talking about one thing and then we start rambling on about another. You never know. But it is a great video, and it's really, I think it's an opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion, to pick up a lot of silver at spot price. With the increase of silver going up higher and higher in price, a lot of people are paying higher and higher premiums. And some people feel like, oh, the opportunities, for picking up, adding to their stack has kind of went by the wayside. There's not as many opportunities out there anymore, and they kind of feel left out. Maybe they missed the boat. And then some of y'all have been stacking ever since, but you realize that stuff's getting more expensive. Not just silver, but everything really that we buy. And so today's video, I think this could be favorable for a lot of you guys to be able to pick up some silver at spot price. Now, yeah, I'll be honest, the spot price on silver right now is not cheap. It's 53 bucks. But there are opportunities out there, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit today. And we're probably going to talk a little bit more about how what's happening right now, I believe, is a temporary, and by temporary, I don't mean temporary jump in price. I actually mean, the opportunity for you to pick it up at spot is temporary. And I'm going to show you guys why that is, because some of the stuff going on in London right now is causing a race for them to get silver out there, and in that they're passing up on lower grade silver, such as 90% constitutional silver, 925 sterling silver, whether that be in the form of jewelry, whether that be in the form of silverware, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you might be able to capitalize on that opportunity. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up on the video, and leave me a comment. Even if it's a quick little comment like good morning, I don't care. I love seeing the comments, and the comments help the algorithm more than anything. So the more people hit a comment, if you happen to have the hype feature, when you click on the thumbs up button, if you slide it over, some of you will have a hype option. If you can hype the video, it really helps me out. So with that being said, let's jump right in. What is the silver price right now? So the silver price right now, the spot price is $53.08. As you can see, we did get up there. It's been holding pretty steady over the 42, over the 52 level. A lot of people have been asking me if I think 50 is the new floor. I think we could test that $50 level again. However, I think right now we're doing a great job staying over it. I think you can see that the demand is picking up, and right now we're seeing the futures price kind of catch up a little bit, because remember the other day we did a video, we were like $2.50 off between the spot price and the futures price. And looking at it right now, you've got the futures price at $52.42 versus $53.09. So you can see that gap is closing, and I think that's good that we're seeing that gap closing, because I mean, ultimately it's supposed to be a certain way. When it's out of whack like this just shows people that something is going on, that people really want physical silver and they want it fast. And we know what's going on. We know huge amounts of silver, in the 30 million ounces I had read, is being flown overseas to London. I mean, they're not putting it on cargo ships. They're flying it on cargo planes to hurry up and get that silver to them. And they're focusing right now on pure 999 silver, whether it's a 10-ounce bar, whether it's a kilo bar. They want to make 5,000-ounce silver bars and make them ready for deliver. So we'll see what happens if they're gonna. Some people say they're not going to be able to make delivery of a lot of the silver that has to be delivered in the upcoming delivery deadline. However, I'm convinced they probably will, but at what cost? we are seeing a lot of Americans selling. We're not seeing as much selling overseas. In fact, we're seeing people overseas scrambling to try to get their hands on it. However, Americans don't understand what's really going on with silver. And that's why a lot of them view silver as in it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up in price. It's got to come down. I actually had a conversation with someone today, and he said, I'm not convinced it can keep going up. And do I think it will slow down? I think it will probably slow down a little bit. However, we've had phenomenal gains already, and I think next year it's going to be just as good. But that is still months away, and we're going to see how this plays out. I would not be surprised to see $60 silver by the end of the year. Talking a little bit more about what is going on in this opportunity. I talked about this in a previous video. Yes, some major refineries have temporarily stopped accepting 925 sterling silver and 90% junk silver as of October 2025. We talked about why that is. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are selling their silver, and it's causing a backlog. They have to refine that silver down. It's not pure. They've got to refine it down and then turn it into 999 and then make their 5,000 ounce COMEX delivery bars. However, that's taking a lot of time. So they're putting that higher premium, and they're mostly focusing their attention right now on pure 999 silver. Now, that also does have to do with the lending rates and stuff for a lot of these refineries that are getting backlogged with stuff right now. But what happens to all that sterling silver and 90% silver? From my standpoint, I think some of this is opportunity for you. Opportunity in the form, I'm probably not going to target silverware per se, but I am going to target 90% junk silver. This is an item that some big YouTubers, some of these big analysts have came out, especially the ones that they own their own bullion company and they're big on YouTube. They've been pushing 90% for a while now, and they've been pushing it in the form of, oh, you'll be able to barter this. There's only so much of it out there. It's in high demand. It's getting melted down every day. And now we're seeing the demand literally drop off a cliff for it. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there that buy precious metals, and they buy it for one purpose, so they can send it to a refinery, make a little bit. There's not a huge markup in a lot of cases. Some of these honest people that are selling and buying this stuff, they have very small margins. They might buy it for 10% under spot and then turn around and sell it for 7, maybe 5% under spot. And that 5% is where they make their money. And yes, on a huge amount of money, 5% can add up. However, if you're out there and you go to one of these places, whether it be a jewelry store, whether it be a resale place, and you explain to them, hey, I'm looking for some 90% junk silver, I'm willing to pay spot, maybe a little under spot. You don't even have to go into details. Let them do the talking. Ask them, what's the best I can get on them quarters? What's the best I can get on them dimes? And look for opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities out there. If they get too much of this stuff, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to stop buying it off of people. Just like the refineries stop buying it, soon they're going to stop buying it. And in some cases, they're already still buying it, but they're lowering what they pay because they know they're going to have to sit on it. Now, sitting on silver at $53 to some people is a gamble. I asked a good friend of mine, he does a lot of selling to refineries, and he said, I'm not in the speculation business, T. I don't want to speculate on silver. I want to take it in, make my couple percent profit. I mean, think about a 2% on a $53 ounce, let's just say. And 2% is low, but it's money. It still adds up. 2% on $53 is a little over $1 an ounce. And in some cases, there are people out there that have a couple hundred ounces that they're selling because they're looking at it as, man, $53, that's huge. So they go and they sell a couple hundred ounces, and a 2% difference adds up to big money. And so if They're focusing on that. They can't be tying up a ton of money on 90% that they're going to have to sit on to the unforeseeable future on how long it will be. Now, here's the thing. I think soon you will be able to sell this stuff back. I think a lot of people underestimate 90%. I'm one of them. I'm not a huge fan of 90% silver. Do I have some? Yes. I especially like Mercury dimes, Walking Liberty quarters, Benjamin Franklin's. I'm not as much of a fan of your Washington quarters, your Roosevelt dimes, or your Kennedy half dollars, only because the coin looks identical aside from its silver. Some people out there don't really understand that. If you put a Kennedy down on the table and you put a Benjamin down and you tell people they can have one for free, the majority of the people are going to take the Benjamin. The majority of the people are going to take the Mercury dime. They're going to take the Walking Liberty quarter. So once you understand that, you understand, obviously, yeah, that stuff, there's better opportunity from the collectible standpoint. You may not get stuck with it as long if you ever go to want to sell it. It's easier to sell that stuff. I've seen people put silver dimes that are your actual Mercury dimes. I've seen people selling them $4 and $5 a dime. Well, that's really high over spot when you think about it. Now, is there a little work that goes into it? Yeah, you got to set up somewhere. You've got to put them in flips, price them, and all that. However, if you put the same dime, a silver dime, in a little flip, and it's a Roosevelt dime, some people don't want that. I would recommend, my personal opinion, not financial advice, this weekend going out and looking for some of this stuff. The weekend is coming up. Once it comes up, I don't want to pay over $53 an ounce for silver. I definitely don't want to buy from some of the big online dealers that essentially don't have as much sales running. If they don't have a sale, I'm not taking it. I'm looking for opportunities. Prices are going up. Now, this is one of the things I've got to say. You have to look out for you. That's why I've never taken a sponsor. Well, I can't say I never have. I mean, I was already using a product, and one company sent me that product for free, but it has nothing to do with coins. It more had to do with my chicken, when I had all my chickens and stuff, my homestead. That I don't want to recommend people get tied up with one specific company, because there's always going to be deals out there. There's always going to be opportunities out there, and you have to really try to get as much silver as you can now before the opportunity closes. $53 I still think is extremely cheap. Now, I know some people would be like, well, would you buy it at 53? So if I can pick up silver at 53 right now, would I buy it? Yes, I probably would. Am I slowing down at 53? Of course I am, because I've been stacking for a while. I'm getting to the point where I want to enjoy some of my fiat cash. I've skipped out on a lot of fun stuff to put away for that rainy day. And when I'm old and gray, I want to be able to break some of this silver out, sell a little bit of it here and there, and kind of use it in conjunction for my cost of living to get by. And I still want to make sure that I have a little bit down the road. So, I pick up a little bit here and there where I can. And I think there's still opportunities out there to pick up deals. One of the other things you might be able to do is trade silver, one kind of silver for another kind of silver, doing a straight up trade. Now, I don't know all the rules on this, but you might be able to do that. You might be able to look around. I had someone send me a message, said that he traded 2 grams of gold and got 5 ounces of silver. And I think that's a phenomenal trade, really. I think he did very well with that, and a good opportunity there. I think silver is still going to run a whole lot higher. A lot of people ask me, do you think we're at the peak? So I don't think we're at the peak. I don't even think we're nowhere near the peak. And the reason is because we're still at 80-to-1 roughly ratio. 80 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. When we seen $50 silver before, remember that ratio got all the way down to 20-to-1. Now, in order for that to happen today, you would have to see the price. Let's see if we can pull up a calculator real quick. Boom. Clear. Right now, we're sitting on 42.35 gold. If we were to divide that by 20, holy smokes, I didn't think it would be that high, I ain't gonna lie. If we were to take 42.35 and divide that by a 20-to-1 gold-silver ratio, like we got in 2011 when we had that huge spike. Let me pull it up real quick to verify that that was 2011, not 1980. Hold on one second. Boom. Hold on here. Let's see. Gold to silver historical ratio. Boom. Boom. Let's take a look specifically. Okay, so yeah, 2011 actually got down to 30-to-1. We'll get to that in a minute. However, 1980, we got all the way down to, well, actually, they're showing it even lower. They're showing it 15-to-1. But let's just say, you know, that's 15-to-1. Let's just stick with the 20-to-1 for a quick minute. And then we'll actually do the 30-to-1 after. These ratios come when essentially the actual piling in of silver. And you can see what happened when you look at the actual silver chart historically. You know, you look at how the silver price just skyrocketed and people are like, oh, see, it hit 50 and then it just plunged down. It did it again here in 2011 and then it plunged back down. And here we are here again. People are saying it could plunge back down. The problem is we're nowhere near the same ratio when you really look at it. Pulling up the calculator again, if we were to go to a 20-to-1 ratio, that would put silver at $211. So I don't think we're anywhere near that stage yet. I think we're actually possibly in this area right here where, yeah, silver climbed from $4.50 and it climbed up and up and up. But there was opportunity. When it was 4 times the money and it was only $20, they hadn't really piled in yet. That's what you need to understand. I mean, you look at, we'll say $20 silver. We're only 2.5 times, a little over 2.5 times. We're not even at 3x yet. And you can see when silver went from $5 on this chart and got all the way up to $21, you can see this huge sell-off. And a lot of people associate this sell-off with the 2008 housing crisis, and it did have a lot to do with that. However, it also had to do with people seeing that silver had gone up as much as it did. But this rising of price was that there were entities that already saw the writing on the wall. And I think entities see that the writing on the wall now, and that's it. You know, they're buying it up. Now, here, though, you did see when the actual crisis got announced, we seen a huge pullback in price. I mean, we went from $21 all the way down to $9. But then it bounced and just skyrocketed. It went parabolic. Yeah, it slowly worked its way back up. But once it popped through that 21 again, that was it. It skyrocketed and it moved fast. We're not moving fast right now. We're really not. What's happening right now, in my personal opinion, this year is we're seeing, yes, we're seeing increased in buying. We're seeing more people want to take delivery of physical silver. We're seeing people getting ahead of the curve. We're not seeing the everyday populace buying into silver yet. Once they buy in, that's it. And I think the reason we're seeing, when you zoom in and you look at this, essentially, I don't want to say sideways trading, because, you know, yeah, it's going up, but it's also, you know, has a lot of volatility in there. However, this right here is happening, I believe, because they don't want to run the price up instantly. If they run the price up, if they just start buying unlimited amounts as much as they can, and they say, hey, we'll take sterling, we'll take 90%, we'll take anything, it doesn't matter, what do you think will happen? They're going to drive the price even higher. They're bidding themselves. If you want something, you want to acquire as much as you can of it as cheap as you can. And that's what I think they're doing right now. They're letting it slowly go up. A lot of people are selling. Let's be honest. Everybody knows somebody that is selling. If you've been to the coin shops, you're seeing people are selling. In some cases, people aren't even buying certain types of silver now. Like I said, the 90%, the sterling. I think buying this stuff and holding it if you can get it cheap enough is a good opportunity. Someone actually asked me, would you consider ever trading, say, a 10-ounce bar for a whole bunch of sterling or junk 90% silver? I mean, I guess I would consider if there was the opportunity to make a little bit of extra silver at the end of the day. You have to hunt for those deals. If someone does, hunt around, they can find opportunities out there, and then just add it to their stack. Not necessarily sell it. I probably wouldn't want to give up my silver position, but if I could pick something up that would give me a little extra, personally, I would rather convert fiat dollars into silver than trade. But there are people that maybe have limited incomes and they're looking for opportunities. And I will not say that 90% junk is junk. I mean, think about how propped up and hyped up this was. This was hyped up huge. Back when the melt price was only $5 for a silver quarter, I remember seeing a lot of companies selling them for $8, which was insane. But they had a lot of big YouTuber names that were promoting junk silver, constitutional silver, and they were using a lot of the lines of it's limited, they're not making anymore, this and that. Yeah, they're not making anymore, but at the end of the day, it's still just silver. And there is opportunity. We're seeing even bullion companies are selling some of this stuff at spot price now. They want to unload it. And now they can't even send it to the refineries. They're going to be stuck with it. They're going to be stuck tying that money up. You need to take advantage of this opportunity and pick up what you can as cheap as you can. Look around. I've even heard some people say, get in on Facebook. Look at Facebook deals. There are people out there that are selling it. I probably wouldn't. I'm not at the point where I would go to a pawn shop. I mean, ultimately, I guess I would to see what they're offering, even though I would be very cautious. Pawn shops tend to offer less money in general. But it doesn't mean every pawn shop is a bad person. I know I talked to one person that subscribes to the channel. He has a pawn shop, and he says, I try to pick the stuff up $1 under spot. I try to turn around and sell it for $1 over spot. That gives me $2. Well, $2 on a $50 investment is a 4% roughly climb. That's a good opportunity. So with that being said, you have to be mindful. Now, I also talked to someone that went to a pawn shop the other day with about 60 ounces, and they tried getting it for $30 an ounce. And I said, that's just highway robbery. How greedy do you have to be to get it for $30? You're taking that. I mean, that's a huge markdown when you think about it. You're going to pay, what is that, 60% of spot, I think, if I did the math right in my head. Yeah, roughly 60%. That's a huge drop. No one wants to take a 40% cut. The person probably bought it at $30 an ounce, and they want to use this justification that, silver's at an all-time high and it's probably going to come down. What are you going to sell it for? That's always my question I ask these people. What would you sell it for if you were to turn around and sell it to me? And if someone is truly honest, they're going to tell you, their thoughts may be a little different on, do they think silver will go up? Do they think silver will pull back? Because no one knows that. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows if it's going to rain or be sunny tomorrow. They're making educated guesses. But flukes happen all the time. Now, when it comes to silver, yes, they're going to have difference of opinions. However, they know already what they're going to mark that for. And when you hear them say, oh, yeah, if they're honest, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy it off you for 30 and I'm going to put it up for spot. Well, now, if you go from 30 to 50, what is that, a 66% profit? I mean, that's huge. And that's just greed, in my opinion. But there is opportunities out there if you look around for it. Businesses, resellers, people that sell to the refineries, they don't want to get stuck tying too much money up into these junk silver deals. And there is a lot of junk silver out there. Let me pull up a picture. For some of you guys that may not know junk silver, for some of y'all that maybe don't know what I mean when I say junk silver, you can see here, junk silver generally means, and this is, when people use the word junk silver, they're referring usually to coins. However, like I said, sterling silver, if you don't mind jewelry, I actually bought little bags of jewelry in the past because I knew, hey, it's silver. And it's pretty. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I can give it to somebody. It's a ring. It's a necklace. It's a pendant. A lot of different designs. A lot of cool stuff. This is the stuff, though, I'm talking about. And some of this has great opportunity to pick it up. But you need to pick it up at spot price right now. Do not go over spot on this stuff. People that are charging more and more money. And the price of this stuff is going up. And once people can start selling it to the refineries again, if silver keeps going up like it is, I mean, that's it. You'll already have some junk silver. It's a good way to protect yourself. And yes, you can. Oh, welcome to the party, pal. Thank you so much for subscribing. TS. Mohan TS, I appreciate that. You just hit the subscribe button just while we're actually filming our video, so thank you so much for that. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there if you look around, and this is not bad silver. It's good, especially if we go into some bartering scenario. You look at Venezuela, if someone had some 90% silver, maybe silver dimes, silver quarters, there's a lot of opportunity in that. Same with any other country. You look at countries that have collapsed, Weimar Germany, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, all this stuff, silver has gotten them through hard times. To the point where even when you look at some places, I think it was Zimbabwe, Libya, actually it was Libya, where I seen a video of an old lady trading in some old broken silver and gold jewelry to get food. She was getting food with it. And yeah, I hear people tell me all the time, oh, you can't eat this stuff. You're right. You can't eat it, but it still has value. And if you can pick it up at spot price, that's an opportunity for you. So let's take a look how long we've been talking here. Okay, almost 30 minutes. So I think it's a great opportunity. I don't think this is going to come to an end in terms of the demand for silver. Demand is picking up for AI. It's picking up for solar. It's picking up for these new batteries. Think about how quick silver can conduct energy. I mean, you put an ice cube on a 2020 quarter and you put an ice cube on a silver quarter and you will see a difference. You will see that the silver quarter melts the ice a whole lot quicker because it is diverting that energy, that thermal dynamic property that it has. It's moving it quicker. So a lot of people are looking at technology and they need faster technology. I mean, you look at these quantum computers, these AIs. I mean, think about it. If you have even a split second faster than other people, it might not have a huge impact on maybe your Call of Duty video game or, the video games or whatever. But you look at how it affects in stock trading, day trading, how it affects in weaponry, silver is in high demand, and the demand is going to continue. And a lot of this stems from, like I've always said, it's like a beach ball underwater. You push that beach ball down underwater, it's not just going to come back to the surface. The deeper you go with that beach ball, the more force is being built up. Once you release that beach ball in that pool, it ain't going to come to the surface. It's going to skyrocket over the surface. And I don't think we're anywhere near the top. However, we could see it slow down a little bit, a consolidation before we see another huge run up. But how many people are essentially prepared for the run up that is coming? I want to be prepared. I want to have some extra silver. I want to have some different kinds of silver. And I like it when nobody likes it. What do I mean by that? If nobody likes junk 925 sterling right now, I like it. Why? Because I can get a better deal on it. If nobody likes 90% right now because they want to talk about how I can't sell it or this and that, I like it. It's still silver. Do I like 40% nickels? If I get the right deal on it, I'll even take those. But it's got to be the right deal. There's a lot of opportunity. And keep in mind, this is history right here. This is history. These coins have historical value. Look at this. You got your Walking Liberty $50. You got your Mercury dimes. You got your Barbara dimes. Nickels, everybody always wants to ask me, I got Buffalo nickels, I've got V nickels. Those are not silver. Oh, hey, look at that. Technically, that's a mistake. And I only just found out about this coin. I actually bought a whole bunch of silver dimes from someone, and one of these, a 3-cent nickel or a 3-cent piece, was in there. And I'm a little bit of a stickler. I put every one of my dimes, it was like, I don't know, there was a ton of them. I put every one of them on a Sigma, and I tested every one. And as I'm flipping through them, all of a sudden one tested bad. I looked closer at it, and I was like, what is this? It has Roman numeral 111 or III. I said, I don't know what that is. I had to look it up. 3-cent nickel. Technically, that's not silver. It's copper and nickel. And that's why they call it a 3-cent nickel, because it's made out of the same composite as a regular nickel, a Buffalo nickel, a V nickel. Now, there are war nickels, so don't think all nickels are not silver. During the war, they did need copper for shells, and they needed nickel for tanks. And so that's where they ended up making nickels out of silver for a limited time. A lot of people don't even hunt that stuff because, let's be honest, if they don't want 90%, they sure don't want 40%. Or, I'm sorry, 35%. Someone would have corrected me on that. So, yeah. Same with the 40% $50. You know, there is opportunity in that stuff if you get a good deal. But you got to get a good deal on that stuff. So, with that being said, we will wrap up the video here. Hopefully, you guys are going to go out. If you do go out and find some deals, hey, don't hesitate. Post a quick comment. Just, it only has to be like a sentence. Like that one that I received earlier today. Hey, I traded 2 grams of gold. I got 5 ounces of silver. I was super happy with that deal. I think you did very well with that deal. And let's just see real quick what the melt price is. What is the melt price on 2 grams of gold? So the melt price on 2 grams... Let's see. Did we even talking about that, or my eyes going bad? That didn't come out. No, it's talking about milk. I don't know how. Oh, what is the milk price? I don't know how that got that way. Melt price of a gram of gold. I guess I said milk. Okay, so 136 per gram. So that would basically mean $272. So I guess technically it's a little over because you can pick up at, well, no, I would say that's pretty fair still. I pick up stuff sometimes at spot, but I think realistically if you go out and you buy, let's see, that's 273, we'll say real quick. Let's just say that, 273. I guess I should just be, since I got a calculator, might as well just use the exact 236.72 times 2 grams equals, okay, what the heck is up today? 136.72 times 2 equals, okay, $273. Let's divide that out by 5 now. Divide by 5 equals 54.68. With spot price being right now $53.07. So 53.7 minus. So we're going to take this price. We're going to minus 53.07 equals. You paid $1.61 over spot technically. I think you did very well still, because the average ounce of silver, I mean, people are paying more. It ain't going to take but a couple days, possibly, maybe a week, before we break another dollar higher. And this will slowly get washed away. And what a lot of people aren't considering that will eventually come up is the gold-silver ratio. A lot of people aren't really focusing on this. We're still relatively high. If you look at this chart right here, you can see my cursor. I can't really draw a line, unfortunately. I wish I could. But look, we're right around here. And once you look at that, there's a whole lot more times in history where silver had a lower gold-silver ratio. In fact, there's only really an area here, a little bit of an area here, and a little bit of an area here where we had these high gold-silver ratios. And generally, this ends with a plunge, as you can see here. Look how quick we were up to. Let's take a look at this 79 right here, 75 right here. Look at the plunge. Look how quick it plunged. People need to understand gold-silver ratio says a lot. The idea of, oh, well, gold's in higher demand, that's why it's no. How does it come out of the ground? Silver is in high demand too. What are people using gold for? They're using it just to buy it and store it. There's more and more gold above surface every day than there is silver. Every day people are, they're mining silver, but they're burning it. They're wasting it. They put it in a Tomahawk missile and it goes boom. They don't collect it. What happens to the average gold? The average gold goes in a safe somewhere. Eventually, someday, there will probably be the same amount of gold as there is silver above ground. And, I mean, naturally, then we could see some crazy prices coming up on the silver. That's why I like silver. And yes, I understand. Oh, well, you could see one of these crazy pullbacks. Yeah, you could. When you look at the history of the silver price, when you have a crazy climb, but these crazy climbs are what? Silver went from $5 to $50, a 10x move. Are we at that point yet? Really? No, we're at 2.5 times. That's not even it's a profit 2.5 times, but it's not huge for those of us that have been stacking. We want to be the winners. We've been playing it safe for long enough. It's our time. It's our time to shine. These people that have been buying thin air assets, they look like they're the winners now, but are they going to be the winners later? And here's the thing. Take a quick look at the asset sheet. Assets based on market, based by market capitalization. Gold is number one, and it will pretty much stay number one. It's going to be a long time before anything passes gold. Then you got Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, and look, stocks are overpriced right now. Let's be honest. And if hyperinflation does really ramp up, we start seeing higher and higher inflation, yes, this stuff will continue to go up, maybe, but will it go up as fast as silver? Because people recognize silver. Take a look at Alphabet right now, or Google. You got Google at 3.039 trillion. We'll just say 3 trillion. You've got silver at 2.948 trillion. That's 52, 62, 72, 82, 91. So you're talking $91 billion away. I did some math one day. For every penny that silver goes up, it's $2 billion over here. With that being said, if you're talking 91 billion, that's only a 45-cent climb. Let's just say a 50-cent jump maybe for easy math. And that just means this futures silver price needs to go up by 45 cents, we said. I mean, take a look at the futures price now. You can see that it's 52.42. That's the number they go by. But the spot price is already there. We're just not seeing it yet. So technically, silver has already passed Google. We're just not seeing it yet. But that's because they're using the futures price. What's more important, the futures price or the spot price? Think about that. If someone wants silver today, they're going to spend the spot price. Yeah, the futures price only comes up if you want to take it later. Who knows if later will ever come? With all these paper shorts out there, and we've looked at this before. When you look at the U.S. debt clock, you can pull this up, usdebtclock.org, and you come down here and you look at the paper to silver ratio. It's 359.7 ounces. So let's just say 360 ounces of paper silver to every 1 ounce of physical. This should be illegal. It's pure manipulation. They put more paper out there to lower the price. But eventually, people are going to want their silver. And when they want it, and we're starting to see that happen. Why? Because people need it for technology. They need it for batteries. They need it for AI. They need it for industrial demand. They need it for the war machine. Naturally, as this happens, it's going to get harder and harder to get physical silver. And that's where they're at right now. That's why they're taking planes full of silver from America and sending it to London so they can meet delivery. Ultimately, this is not going to end well. We need to have our own silver here in the United States. Not just gold, but silver. And I'll be honest, we're seeing a lot of gold coming into the U.S., but we're seeing a lot of silver leaving the U.S. These metals are metals that we need here in America. We need them. Whoever controls the most resources is in control of the game. Literally. Because more and more technology, newer technology, uses these resources. And this is not going to end well. I want to be prepared. I want to have mine for when that day comes. And that's it. Who knows? Something will break. If they really need silver or gold here in the United States, we could end up seeing them do something crazy that none of us have ever seen. We could see them say, hey, for a limited time, you sell your gold or you sell your silver to the U.S. and no tax. It'll be tax-free temporarily. Any transactions of selling right now to us, you take that money tax-free. What does that do? How many people out there would cash in a portion of their silver to not have to pay any tax and get all that money up front and utilize that money for something else? I'll be honest, I would be very tempted to sell a portion of my silver right now to the government if I didn't have to pay taxes on it. That's all they got to do. And then they control the gold, they control the silver. And then they start getting as much as they can. If they try to confiscate it, people aren't going to go for that. And so that will be an interesting thing if they even try that. But are they really going to try to confiscate something that they could just buy with money that they just printed out of thin air? They don't have to confiscate it. They can just get it for free. Well, not free, but they can just get it for, well, yeah, you can say free. Money that they're just printing out of thin air. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I thank everybody for watching. Real quick, let's just take a look at the DXY. I didn't really talk about it much today. We have the dollar index trading at 98.57. A lot of people still making it sound like, oh, look at the dollar. It's back up to almost 100. It doesn't matter what it's up to. This is just the dollar against other fiat currencies. It's like a bunch of planes that are falling out of the sky. Which one hits first doesn't matter because everybody is going to get burned if they're on that plane. So are you prepared? Do you have your silver? Are you going to be okay? Keep stacking, my friends. Look for some opportunity out there. This is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. But it's definitely something for you to think about and look into as we do continue to see the price slowly inch up, slowly climbing higher and higher. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great day. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I'll see you guys again tomorrow on T Square Talk. We do videos every Monday through Friday, and we do random short clips, short videos. So have fun, keep stacking, my friends, and have a great day. Bye-bye.